Hello, everybody, and welcome to the CrossGen podcast. My name is Walt, and I am here with my two sons, AJ and Eli. Guys, say what's up.
Welcome. Hello. What's up? Yes.
This is Vladagon.
Vladagon.
Yes.
Okay, your computer name.
Yes.
In which, in that case, my name is Kwapal.
Forget it. You guys come up with some crazy names on this thing. All right. So, today we're going to be talking about something that's near and dear to our heart: video games. The first half of 2022 saw some spectacular games that came out, and some not so spectacular games. It's kind of been a hit or miss with 2022 first half. But today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about 2022, the second half. And usually that's a little bit more robust because guess what happens in the second halves of years?
Non-existent holidays.
Yes.
Holiday season. That's when they're going to go crazy with the games. And looking at this list, yeah, it looks like it's gonna kind of continue this year also, right?
Personally, I say that's debatable, but let's see.
All right, so we're gonna be doing our top 10 most anticipated list. We're gonna throw in some honorable mentions in there. We're gonna sprinkle in a couple of games that we think are notable for 2023. But before we start, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. If you're listening to us audio, the audio version on the podcast apps of your choice, we are on Apple Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora. I mean, basically any podcast app that's out there, we're pretty much on it.
Yes.
And additionally, we're on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
So you can see our beautiful or ugly faces depending on how you roll. Um,
We also have a side gig,
and we do. What's that side gig?
Twitch.
Twitch, and we have a channel on the on the CrossGen podcast page, which is CrossGen Play, which is where us knuckleheads go out and play our favorite games and try and sound interesting, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get started. Um, top 10 list. We got it right here. Let's check it out. The first one on the list is a game that's coming out October 7th. Eli?
Yes. We're talking about Midnight Suns, which is basically Midnight Suns is basically about Midnight Suns, which if you didn't know about it, it's
Let
a
me
Marvel
guess.
property.
It's about Midnight Suns.
It is about Midnight Suns,
Okay.
surprisingly, and it features Wolverine. Okay, that's gonna take a while if I just go through the characters. There's a bunch of. It's basically I would say
Who are the
it's
main
sort of like
characters? Let's put it that way.
well the main characters. It seems like it's Ghost Rider, Blade, someone else, Iron Man, and Wolverine. I don't know who the
Spider-Man. It's another big one.
Spider-Man is also in that. Scarlet Witch apparently, Captain Marvel, Magic, and Nico Minoru
Okay.
and Captain America. Okay, I'm reading the roster now. But basically the trailer seems pretty interesting because it seems like it's a very different take of uh it's just a very different Marvel game in terms of story, I guess. With a new character. I don't know who the Green Fire lady is, but she
Looks kind of like
turns
Lilith.
yeah, and she turns like Venom into an evil demon. And yeah, overall, I
Yeah,
would say the
that's
game isn't very. It's your typical underwhelming Marvel game, in my opinion.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
okay.
you also said it's like somewhat similar to this game called XCOM.
Yeah, so the game is not your typical Marvel game because most of the Marvel games that we've been accustomed to are pretty much action games, right? Like
Yeah.
you do a thing and it does the thing. Um, this one here is very much like an RPG, almost like an XCOM game for people who haven't played that. That's kind of almost turn based. With this game, you're actually using cards, so it's kind of blending two things together. So you pick the card and then you choose the opponent that you're supposed to go and use that card against. So it's not your typical Marvel game, but a lot of people are jiving on the trailers and stuff, and a lot of people seem to be very interested in it.
The trailers, I will give it that. It does look very interesting. Like they have, like I said, Venom Demon, Demon Hulk.
Who's that guy on the left? I can't place him.
That's basically who's the dude from DC? I keep forgetting his name. He looks exactly like him. Steppenwolf. It's literally Steppenwolf. Like if you look at him, he
Okay,
literally
but
looks like
like
Steppenwolf.
Isn't he like part of Thanos's clan?
Oh, he's
the
probably
dude
one of
on the
the
left.
Yeah, like the
yeah.
really big guy, right? With the horns. Isn't he like Obsidian or something? He looks like
That's not Black Dwarf.
no. I'm not saying that it is, but he's got like a similar look to it.
He
I
does
don't know who it is though.
sorta. I don't
You
know.
know.
I mean, my first guess would have been Rhino, but I don't see anything else
Rhino.
that screams Rhino.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, either way, the game it has an interesting concept. I don't know exactly if it would pull it off uh
Yeah, like
in the
see
best
this.
way. Yeah.
Like
yeah,
that's
like the
also
whole
very important.
the whole card ability thing seems interesting, right?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
But
So that
It seems like it can get boring to play if I'm being completely
no,
honest.
that's not true. It looks like you're gonna have a lot to get accustomed to.
Yeah, you know what? That's a better way to put it. But then again, it's the viewer's
yeah,
opinion.
like I said,
So
it's a very different Marvel game than we're accustomed to.
yeah,
You
if
know,
you
we're
play
we're
it,
accustomed to action games where we have freedom of movement. You know, you have to kind of learn combos and stuff like that. That's
Marvel
not this. You
Alliance.
know, so all right, so that's Marvel's Midnight Suns, and that comes out October 7th. Um, the next game on the list, and this is one that I picked because I'm kind of like into horror and stuff like that, and so this seems to me at least pretty interesting. And the game that I'm referring to is the Callisto Project. Now,
Protocol.
I mean, yes, I'm sorry, the Callisto Protocol,
I
and
guess you must
that
not
is a
like the game that
game
much.
that what was that?
I guess you must not like the game that
No,
much.
no.
I'm just
I'm
kidding. I'm
sorry.
just kidding.
Yes, the Callisto Protocol, and this is a game that's developed by Striking Distance Studios, and it's going to be published by a company called Krafton. I'm not too familiar with them. This is the one that you're probably going to have to wait the longest because it's scheduled to come out December 2nd of 2022. And the interesting thing is that it's directed by a guy named Glenn Schofield, who, if you know who he co-created the Dead Space series.
See, that's why this looks so much like Dead Space.
Yes.
oh,
And that's why I'm kind of vibing on it because it's got those Dead Space vibes, but it looks a little different at the same time, right?
Yeah, it's a
Like,
lot. It's a lot more ghoulish. Like Dead
yeah,
Space was ghoulish already, but this kind of. I mean, I'm not gonna say it looks more. No, that doesn't look realistic at all. But the point I'm trying to make is that it looks a lot more gritty. Dead Space was gritty, but this is like another level of gritty.
it's
At
an
least if you ask me.
it's basically an upgraded Dead Space. Well,
mm, well, Dead Space
You're
took
gonna watch your
place.
tongue there, my friend.
it looks like it can be considered.
But it
I mean,
does
it
I
looks
don't
look,
know.
good. It
It
looks
looks good.
good.
It looks good.
yeah. It's set in 2320 in a prison colony
2320.
on Jupiter's moon, Callisto, which makes sense because it's called the Callisto Protocol, right? And you kind of find yourself in the middle of an alien invasion on the prison. So, I mean, for survival horror fans, I think this one kind of ticks all the boxes. You
Yeah.
know, um, it does look super super interesting. The graphics, of course,
Look
are awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
this
the
looks
good thing about it is
beautiful.
that this is not going to be exclusive to any one console because it's coming out for the PlayStation 4 and 5, the Xbox One and
Let's
Series
go.
XS, and it also comes out for Microsoft Windows. So it's going to
Windows.
give you both current and older generation PlayStation and Xbox. And if you got a PC, go out and play it. So, I mean, that's number 9 for me. So that's the Callisto Protocol.
Does seem
Speaking of
interesting.
survival horrors, see what I did there?
I like that.
Yes.
Number
Um,
8 on the list, right?
yes. So, on the developer side, if you know who they are, it's being made by Ebb Software. Publisher, Klepper Interactive. Can't say I've heard of either, but hey, still looks like a good game. And you know what's interesting about this game? When I look at the trailer now and when I saw it a couple moments ago, I get such a vibe from like Alien.
It does. It has that alien slash Prometheus slash, the engineers from the alien from the
Yeah.
Predator, right? Is Predator or
No,
is it Alien,
it's
right?
Alien. It's
So,
only Alien.
but it has that vibe to it, right? So,
This is kind of like if you fused Alien with Hellraiser.
oh, that's
That's
interesting.
Doom, basically.
Yeah, that is Doom.
That's Doom.
Yeah,
Okay, but this. Okay, let me throw in another layer. Halo's Flood. That's not Doom.
yeah. I mean that's
That's
pretty
fair.
cool. The interesting thing about this game, uh, you might think that it is one thing, but it's really not. It's not a first person shooter,
Oh
which
no.
is interesting, right? Because you look at the trailer and the trailer kind of screams first person shooter, right? But it does have first person shooting elements. I
It's
guess
just you kind of gotta, at least the way the dude narrating this trailer says it, you have to carefully, I guess, approach your encounters because it's not like, at least from what I'm seeing and what I'm being told, basically, if you don't manage your encounters right, you can get messed up
Yeah.
really
yeah,
badly.
I think it has it's obviously, again, like you said before, a survival horror uh game, but it's got elements like the Arc series, I guess, is probably a good way of putting it, where there are different ways to handle encounters. It's not
Ah.
always the one way, and you're not
Anything else?
necessarily, I mean, maybe that's a poor example, but I can't think of any other game that kind of does that. Can you?
Actually, yes, it's the game that our good cousin Hafa has been pushing me to play for some time now. That's Prey.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
prey is kind of like a thing where you have to
You
tailor
can
your
run.
experience
Yeah. You can
to.
run, you can hide, you can avoid, you can fight. It's all based on how you want to approach the situation. And I think this is kind of in that vein, except got to be a lot more careful.
Okay.
Now, this game comes out October 21st, 2022, and it looks like it's going to be basically Xbox and PC mostly.
Oh,
Hmm.
so it's a Microsoft exclusive then.
It looks like it.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting.
Interesting.
All right. Moving on to our seventh pick, and this is a surprising pick, and this is actually a game that I'm kind of intrigued. I actually want to go back and play the first one because I can honestly say I never have. But the game that we're talking about is A Plague Tale Requiem, and this is a sequel to the surprise hit of 2019, A Plague Tale Innocence. And It's a action adventure stealth game developed by Asobo Studio and published by Focus Entertainment. And it follows two siblings who are looking for a disease for the younger boy's blood disease in southern France. So, um, this game distinctly gives me some Last of Us type vibes
It does.
where, you
Yeah, it
know,
really does.
yeah, but like it's supposed to be really, really good. And rats.
Yeah, I
Oh
was gonna
yeah.
say that.
Rats, for whatever reason, seem to be like a huge thing. Supposedly not only in this game, but in the first game as well. And it's weird because the rats are, it's not like one singular rat, it's like a horde of rats. And you can actually use it in the gameplay because first of all you're trying to avoid these things, but you can actually push people into the rat um blob, I guess, right? And
Yeah.
they get all eaten up and stuff.
It's
So
really grotesque and disgusting.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
guess rats are kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
You know. So like I said, this kind of gives me, you know, Last of Us vibes, but it's set during the Inquisition.
Oh.
And you know, they're running away from soldiers, and the rats are there for a specific reason because they're the ones that are spreading the Black Plague. So there's some historical, you know,
Yeah.
equivalence to this, right?
There
The
is.
Inquisition took place during the Black Plague.
That's what it looks like, you
Very
know.
sure.
So
Okay.
the French Inquisition, and you've got the
Oh,
rats.
I'm thinking of the
No,
Spanish
no, no. This is the
Inquisition.
French Inquisition. Sorry, I should have been, because we're in France. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. You know what? That makes more sense.
So the Black Plague, and you got both of those elements, and then at the same time, you're trying to get away from these soldiers, while at the same time trying to find a cure for the disease of the younger
Disease.
kid. So, I mean, that seems pretty interesting.
It's a very different concept for a game, but I like the way they're executing it. Like, especially based off of the trailer, it's definitely more than just surviving a plague, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're there's a whole you've got all these elements that are kind of coming after you, and the combat, you know, supposedly they expanded it from the first one. You can use knives, you can use slings, you got crossbows, you can throw rocks, pots. You know, there's a lot of different things that you can do to kind of either kill or distract people. So, you know, you've got that stealth element also. You know,
Yeah.
and then the high grass, you can kind of sneak around in that and stuff. So it looks pretty interesting. And so this is a game that's coming out for literally everything
Ooh.
except for the older generation.
Okay.
um
That's fair.
so if you have a PS4, if you have an Xbox One,
Oh,
you're kind of out of luck with this one.
not mine.
But in October, um the actual date is, excuse me, October 18th. This is set to release for Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series S and X.
Hmm.
And so that's a game that I think, at least for me, I'm going to kind of be keeping my eyes on.
It's definitely probably it probably is one of the most unique games on this list, just because of how different and how it's just really different. You've never actually received any concept like this before, I guess.
I definitely have to play the first one though,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
because
I
this
want to
is
try it
kind of
now.
like a continuation of that. You know, it's the same two siblings as in the first one. So definitely, you know, this is a game that is kind of on my radar. So um so that was A Plague Tale Requiem. We are now really speeding through this thing. We're up to number 6 on the
Yeah.
list. Eli, what
And
we got?
speaking of new concepts and probably impressive games, I'm gonna throw it to one of the most anticipated games of the century, probably, and probably one of the most impressive and groundbreaking games of the past decade, probably, in my opinion. That's all I'm gonna say. Probably better than Elden Ring. I'm gonna throw this straight to Gotham Knights, which already you can tell what this is gonna be. I've heard a lot of rumors that this game isn't exactly living up to any expectations. But I feel like there's a lot more to this game. There's a lot of attention to detail that you guys really aren't appreciating. I feel like this game has a lot to it that can be. I think this could be game of the year. If I'm being completely honest, I think that this game could be game of the next of this
Jesus
decade.
Christ.
So
Wow.
yeah, Gotham
Get on
Knights.
real thick
Gotham
there,
Knights, the
huh?
CW series, or
The,
Gotham Knights, the video game?
Oh, let's not mistake it for the other wonderful masterpiece that CW blessed us with. We are talking about Gotham Knights, the game, the one with magical Red Hood and Fortnite Robin. So basically, the game. I mean, the characters. Okay, now I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna stop BSing everything. Okay, Red Hood has magical powers. I already said that before. It's horrible. It's horrible. The
It
game.
really
Yeah,
is.
just look at one of the character gameplay things, whatever, and it's just horrible. Um, Bruce Wayne is apparently dead.
I don't believe that. He's gonna be alive
Yeah,
in the game
I mean
somehow.
it's totally like
I
DC
do
to
think though that
do
they
something like
actually,
that.
the developer actually did say that he is like totally dead.
Yeah,
Trolling.
yeah, it could be a
That's like
troll.
Kevin Feige saying, yes, this is totally gonna happen.
But
Granted, I don't know this developer, but I'm not getting fooled.
yeah, either way, I'd still, just in case. But yeah, the game pretty much does not look good at all. You can play it if you want.
Is it?
Don't stop me from trying it out. But it's just
No,
it looks
you mean
horrible.
don't let you stop other people from trying
Yeah,
it.
You know,
don't
the
stop me.
weird
I
thing
mean, don't
is
let
that,
yeah.
and it, Eli, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the developer of this game the same people that did the Arkham series?
Really? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure actually.
I'm pretty sure about that, which is strange because the
Yeah,
Arkham series was so well received, as especially the last one. I think it was Arkham Knight, and so
I
it's
heard
weird.
a lot about Arkham Knight and how good it is.
Yeah,
And
so it's weird that we get this as kind of like the next evolution of that kind of storytelling,
how the mighty
and
have fallen.
it is a 4-player game, and so you can play it, solo, but I think the joy in this game is playing it with another person,
Did Robin
because
just teleport?
there are elements where you can do like combos and stuff with another player and stuff.
That's
So
right.
Yeah,
I
it's pretty
forgot
lame
Robin.
actually.
Why
I
did I
mean,
have to be reminded of
I remember
that?
the first time seeing it, and the character animations were just horrible. It was cutting off. It was like super choppy. And then you look at Robin with his paraglider just floating around Gotham like an angel. It's so freaking weird. You have Red Hood, who is just double jumping. He's literally
He's
double
Hulk
jumping.
jumping.
Yeah. So
but
Hulk
it's
on
jumping.
Magic, he's doing Miss Marvel jumping,
yeah, he is. He
because
is.
like he's manifesting like a platform for him to jump on. Now, what do
Don't
you think about the aspect that the story is going to take place revolving around the Court of Owls?
you know
Is that
me.
something that
I
even
don't care about the story. So Andre, this
it's
is all.
weird that we have this game on the most anticipated list in that case, because I don't think anybody's
I
anticipating it.
just
I
wanted to
mean, the
throw this
Court
in
of
there.
Owls can be interesting, but if I were to because I remember seeing from the trailer that everyone was in like a frozen casket. Like I can very easily see the Court of Owls going, you know what be the best weapon to fight against the Gotham Knights? Oh, I don't know. Why not a brainwashed Bruce Wayne who's actually a stand-in for Talon?
Oh boy!
I'm
Yeah.
calling it now.
All
Okay,
right.
so
Calling it now.
Well, that's Gotham
Basically,
Knights,
Gotham Knights.
which is going to be Eli's uh, favorite game, and probably um, he will be the recipient of the game for his birthday.
Yeah.
Totally.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
all right, let's move on to something that I know AJ is looking forward to.
Here we go.
AJ, we are now up to number 5 on the list.
So, you remember that game Dead Space?
Dead Space.
That
One-
really good horror game that came out way back when,
The one that
2008.
the guy jumped ship and is now doing the Callisto protocol. That game.
Well, when you put it like that, it makes it sound really bad.
Well, anyway,
Yes. So, Dead Space is getting a remake. Yay. Uh, the developers, Motive Studio, publishers, Electronic Arts, pretty cool dudes, run on the Frostbite engine. Dead Space, the remake. That's actually going to look really cool with updated graphics.
It does. Like
And
based off of the
apparently-
trailer.
Apparently, if you've heard it through the grapevine, which may or may not be reliable every now and again, they're going to be including cut content
He
from
is
the
in fact
original
pointing.
first game,
so this is almost like a director's cut of the first game, right?
basically.
But with like updated graphics and things of that nature. So literally, it's a director's cut.
Yeah,
You know,
more or less.
remastered in HD or in this case 4K.
With creepier lighting and probably ridiculous sound design that if you turn up late at night, you'll die of fright or something. Because I remember just playing the original game, because I used to play this like late at night, and maybe the volume wasn't all the way up, but there were times when I gotten really good,
Damn.
and it sucked.
Dead
And I
Space
questioned my decision to play it at night.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know.
Dead Space at 3 a.m.
All right. I obviously you were a fan of the original games, right? So, all right.
I
Well,
am.
that is our number 5 game.
Oh, one more thing.
Yes.
It's going to be on multiple platforms, but there's a catch.
Uh-oh.
At least according to what I see here, PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series X or S. Not older ones, which is a little
Aw.
bit of a letdown.
That's stupid.
At least
Pretty
according to what I
lame.
see, this could change, but
Well, listen, we're already I think 2 years into the current generation, so the older consoles are going to start falling off, at this
2
point.
years?
Ugh.
Right. So it's interesting because we're in our top 5
Oh shit.
list right now, and the crazy thing is 3 of the top 5 are remakes. So I don't know what to make of that, but here's the second one in our top 5 that's a remake, and I'm talking about the game which was game of the year way back when it first came out, Naughty Dog's The Last of Us, but this one is The Last of Us Part 1, the remake of the 2013 action adventure game, again published by Naughty Dog and developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. You can kind of guess that since Sony is the one that's publishing it, it is a PlayStation exclusive. So
Let's go. PlayStation for the win. Let's go.
it is the original
whatever, bro.
game is one of the best-selling video games of all time. It sold over 1.3 million units in its first week and totals 17 million copies sold in the month of April of 2018. It won multiple Game of the Year awards from a lot, different magazines, critics, award ceremonies, and has been cited as one of the greatest video games ever made. And not to be outdone, there is a series based on The Last of Us. I believe it's coming to HBO Max, if I remember correctly. So, The Last of Us is a heavy hitter in video game history. It came out in 2013. Um, did we really need a remake 9 years later? I
Here's
mean,
the only thing I can think of. Because I remember that we had a debate some time ago, or at least our hosts, Jose and Gabe, had a debate
a
about
very
this.
spirited debate, I might
Yes.
say.
Last of Us 2 had some very mixed reception. I mean, it's kind of the easy route to do a remake because considering how they thought number 2 was going to be probably widely praised, maybe this is them playing it safe, if you
You know,
ask me.
the weird thing about it is that Naughty Dog is not only just taking the existing game and kind of putting shiny things on it, they're actually rebuilding and remaking it exclusively for the PlayStation 5. They're going from the ground up and redoing everything. So the characters look different. It's basically the same game but rebuilt from scratch for the PlayStation 5. So that's the only thing that I find different and interesting about this game, because the first game was very good looking and they did a remaster of it. So
Oh my
this is the
god.
third iteration of The Last of Us Part 1 that we're getting.
They're trying to do the GTA remakes. They're trying to milk it. Well, I wouldn't say. Is it? Are they really milking a dead cow?
Well, considering here's the thing. The first game came out in 2013. The remaster came out a year later.
Is it? But it's still popular
It is
technically.
still very very popular. And again, you know, you have to give it its props because like I said, it is listed as one of the greatest video games ever made. So um but I you know it to kind of what you're saying, are we milking a dead horse here? Do we really need to have it again come back from the third time? I mean, would you be better served to kind of like see a brand new game in that universe or whatever? Or do we really want to go back and see it again for the third time?
Like I said, safe option.
Yeah. So, again, that's The Last of Us Part 1. It's scheduled to come out September 2nd. And again, it is exclusive to the PlayStation 5. Um, so there's that. That is the number 4 game on our list. I'm gonna stay on theme here. Well, at least I'm gonna hijack the next one because this is a game that I know a lot of people are anticipating. Maybe not some of us in this room here,
No.
but that is the sequel to
Not
the
particularly.
hero shooter Overwatch, which came out in 2016. This game was developed and published by Blizzard Entertainment, and I'm talking about Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 is set to release October 4th of 2022. And unlike the last two games, which are Last of Us being PlayStation exclusive, Dead Space, I believe you said was Xbox exclusive also, right? Oh, was that
No,
another game? That
that
may have
was
been.
another game. Did I say that was an Xbox exclusive?
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter because Overwatch 2, you'll be able to play it on every console
Oh,
imaginable.
it was Scorn that was for Windows and
Oh,
Xbox.
yes, yes.
Scorn.
Um, well,
Scorn's
Overwatch 2
awesome.
doesn't suffer from that because it's on every game system imaginable. It's on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. And the biggest thing about this game is the fact that it is multiplayer. I mean, it's free to play. It kind of follows that whole, you know, genre of Fortnite and Apex Legends,
As I
and
said, it's a
you know
it's
now Halo, because Halo the multiplayer
no,
is free to play, right?
it's Fortnite for Discord mods. I'm gonna
Wasn't
say
it
it again
always free to play?
because I said it before,
Yeah, when it
not
came out,
in the podcast.
but it never Halo multiplayer never used to be free to play before. It was just when Infinite came out that became a free to play mode. So
Look, if you wanted Overwatch 2, just go play Apex or
Andre looks
Valorant.
confused here.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite, you can download Halo Infinite and just play multiplayer for free.
Oh, but you wouldn't get like the campaign.
No.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
So
All right.
it
Okay.
kind of follows that whole free to play model, Overwatch 2. But like I said, Overwatch is insanely popular. And so, the fact that a number 2 is coming out, um, is pretty interesting. It has persistent cooperative modes. They changed the PvP to reduce the team sizes from 6 to 5, and they had to rework several of the characters. But another cool thing is that it features cross-platform play. So you can be on a Switch and be playing against a guy who has a PlayStation 4 who's playing a guy that has a Xbox Series X. So um and you have 30 different characters. So there's going to be a play style for everybody in this game. So if you're into that whole, battle royale, free to play model, Overwatch 2 is definitely a game that really needs to be on your kind of like watch list for 2022. So again, it comes out October 4th. Um, and that's pretty much it on that one. We're
There you
getting
go.
to the next. We're up to number 2. We're flying through this here. The next remake, the last remake in our top 5. Eli, you want to talk a little bit about that?
It's
Oh God.
surprise, surprise, COD Modern Warfare 2. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Haven't they? Isn't this kind of like similar to the whole Last of Us? Haven't they
You
done?
to no. This is actually beating a dead horse.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
This is actually beating a dead horse.
yeah. We're going back. Um, I think this one is a little weird because I think it's a remake, but also a different story at the same time. Like they add more stuff to it, which is weird.
Okay, story wise, COD has always been somewhat decent with. It's not. It doesn't have the best story, but it does have a decent story there. Otherwise, the game, respectfully, is just the same game as like the past 10 COD games. So
Well, I
I
guess
can't. Yeah,
Infinity Ward is basically if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much to say about Call of
Call
Duty
of Duty, no.
Modern Warfare 2 that hasn't been said already. Um, if you love Call of Duty,
Great.
You
this
know
is
what I
gonna be on your
hated
list.
about seeing the trailer when we saw it earlier? They catfished me with the intro to Wherever I May Roam, only for it to be part of what? What do you call that? A sample, right?
Yeah. Well, they sample anything nowadays.
It could be a cover also.
The beat
You
is
know.
okay, but like to be
Oh my
fair,
god,
yeah.
hated that so much.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that
But
Infinity
that's
Ward
just me.
does really
That's just
well,
me.
yeah, but the one thing that Infinity Ward does really well and Activision is the fact that their trailers are really, really good.
Yeah, their trailers are amazing.
Yeah.
No matter
So
what you say, their trailers are actually decently. They're actually pretty good. They know how to market their game. I guess.
they do. Okay, so that's like I said, there's really not much to say about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. If you're a fan of the series, you're definitely going to be checking it out. That comes out when, Eli?
Modern Warfare does in fact come out. I believe 2022.
October 28th.
Okay,
To
thank
be
you.
specific. Yes. All right. Before we hit number one, I do want to mention three games that kind of fall into the honorable mention slot.
Honorable.
That is Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, Hogwarts Legacy, and the one that I kind of, I mean, Hogwarts Legacy. Well, first of all, Final Fantasy. You guys know who you guys are. You're gonna love this game. It's Final Fantasy VII. It has the characters there, and it looks magnificent. So that's definitely something to put on your list. Hogwarts Legacy looks very, very interesting for a Harry Potter game. And Harry Potter is insanely popular. I didn't think though that I would find myself interested in a Harry Potter game, and I gotta say, it kind of looks okay.
Yeah,
Um,
it actually really does.
it
I'm not
really
even gonna
does.
lie. I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. I've only seen like 2 movies that I really like. I've never really read the books. But like that game, I'm not gonna lie. That gave me second thoughts.
Yeah, I mean that's something I definitely want to try out. But the one that I find the most interesting, and maybe it's my age is showing here, is Sonic Frontiers because for the first time ever, Sonic is going open world.
What?
And that to me is just completely bonkers. And, you know, I grew up with Sonic being a side scroller on Sega Genesis and all that stuff. And, the Sega system and, all of the older consoles. And to see Sonic being able to run freely in like an open world is strangely and awesomely satisfying.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't I don't know how this is gonna work, but just from the trailer alone, I am super intrigued to find out how you can mess around with Sonic after decades of side-scrolling Sonic. You know, so this to me is like super super fascinating. Um, all three games that we spoke about in the honorable mentions don't have exact release dates, but they are scheduled to come out sometime in the holiday season 2022. So definitely keep an eye out on that.
Let's get this straight. Sonic can, in fact, parry. Yes. Sekiro
Yes.
players are gonna have a blast with Sonic Frontiers.
Oh my
Like
god.
I can just I
Okay.
can literally just see it now, all the mods of Sonic the Hedgehog in Elden Ring.
Oh man.
No,
That would be
please
amazing.
stop.
No.
Stop.
So all right,
Stop.
let's get
Jesus
to our
Christ.
top pick of this list, the most anticipated game of 2022. AJ,
It's
drum roll,
Forza
please.
9.
It is Forza 9.
Hey, you never know. Forza is pretty damn popular, but I don't think that's the one that you're vibing on.
Elden Ring 3.
You gotta get two first, man.
Oh, yeah.
Elder Scrolls
Oh
6.
Lord.
Let's not get into that.
Elder Scrolls 6 is scheduled to come out in the next 19 years or something like that. So, you know.
All right,
I don't
but
think I'll be alive by the time the next Elder Scrolls comes out.
Jesus Christ.
in truth, it is the PS5 PlayStation exclusive.
Oh, PlayStation
You only-
exclusive.
You only have one.
Exclusive.
You only have one fresh game. Only one.
No, but you have better. PlayStation 4 has Bloodborne. It has God of War.
Yeah.
It does in
Okay.
fact have a list of other games that I could
That
I
you
could-
cannot
I
mention.
would search it up right now.
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Have you played it?
To be fair,
Have you played it?
I have.
That
played
says
it.
a lot.
I have played it.
That
I
says
have,
a lot.
No. I have played it. I haven't finished the game, but I heard it was really good. And some other games that I would check.
Horizon Zero Dawn?
Horizon Zero Dawn. That's 4 really popular games that are only PlayStation exclusive.
That you haven't played.
I have played most of them. like a
Yeah. Okay.
good
Sure.
chunk of each one of them.
But anyway,
Shadow of Colossus,
Shadow of Okay, okay.
old game, not a new game.
But
Last of Us.
it's still place some really fire PlayStation.
PlayStation does have some really, really good
Yeah.
exclusive games. But anyway, we're talking about God of War Ragnarok.
Yes.
Please explain.
Santa Monica Studios, bless them.
Yes.
Sony Interactive, publisher, kind of bless them.
Sorta.
Basically, this we've been waiting for oh so long.
We have.
This was the only thing that could possibly challenge Elden Ring.
True.
Coming November 9th.
That, you know what? I never thought about it that way, but you're absolutely right, because I think right now Elden Ring is clearly the the top contender for
Game of the Year.
Year.
Yeah.
That might change when Ragnarok comes out.
That might.
So
It might.
that's pretty interesting.
A lot of stuff going on in that game.
There is a lot. I haven't seen the God of War, the previous one, so Ragnarok. Well, actually, no. I watched
You've
a
seen
bit of the gameplay
bits
trailer.
of the cutscene
But
movie.
I can't say that I fully know.
You
I
need
don't.
to.
You need to play the game,
Play the game, watch the cutscene movie, do what you need to do.
but you
Just
need.
know about the first one so you could play the second one.
Yeah, because I really want to do Ragnarok. I remember in the trailer, like we saw Fenrir and Thor, and then I know you said there was like this other god that the game had been building up to for a while. Tyr, yeah.
The Norse god of war.
For some reason, I don't know him. I
It's
thought I was
shame.
well versed in Norse mythology, but I
Shame.
guess not. So Tyr, yeah. So
Yeah. And spoiler alert if you haven't played the game.
spoiler alert.
1, 2, 3, 4,
You-
5. You've been warned.
You got the 5-second countdown. There's nothing you can do now.
Loki,
Well, you have. Okay, well,
the child.
okay, there you go.
Loki.
Did
We're
the
gonna get
child-
more.
Did the child have a name? Or
His
he
name was
just
Atreus.
Boy? Oh,
Boy,
Atreus.
it was boy. I mean,
That's
Kratos
what
just says
No, no.
boy
Yeah, that's
to
how
be
he calls
Kratos.
him.
I
He's
don't
like,
blame
boy.
him. I don't blame him.
You
It
know?
is boy.
So it
Boy
is
his
Atreus.
second
I
name.
thought it was Atreus. Isn't that the same name of the character of that old movie? Oh God, what
I
was?
thought that was Atreyu.
Oh, okay, yeah, Atreyu. Close enough.
That's
What's the name of that movie?
The Never-Ending Story or something like that.
Yes, they made a second one,
You
which
don't know
wasn't
about
so
it.
good.
I
It's
feel like I've heard it.
the Never-Ending Story. Is the
It has a very
story-
popular song.
Yeah, and it's also
Isn't it
the
with Metallica?
story.
Nope.
No,
It's also the
wasn't-
story of nothing.
Wasn't there something like with Metallica and it was like never ending, or something like that? Or
No.
I don't remember. It was like some movie.
Through the Never?
Through the Never.
That's totally different.
That's a
What is
concert
that?
movie.
It's totally
That's a
different.
concert
It's
movie.
a concert movie.
Yeah,
Oh.
Metallica is famous for those, and they're really good.
Yeah.
But basically,
Anyway,
there's
back to
just
Ragnarok.
so much story to look forward to.
I don't think they're going to be changing the gameplay much either, right? Because that's another one where
It
it's
doesn't
like,
look like it because
if
you
it
still
ain't
have
broke,
the
it's not
shield.
fix it.
Yeah,
You can't fix it, right?
you still got the shield. Still got the axe. You're obviously going to be able to use the Blades of Chaos because that was also part of the revamp.
I like that you could, with the God of War game, you could take the same gameplay mechanics, put them in the next game, and for it to feel like it's a totally new game. It's really weird. I feel like when seeing God of War Ragnarok, I feel like it's a refresher or something. I don't know why.
Well, I think the
Feels
big
different and
part,
new.
the big part of the God of War games is not just the gameplay, but it's really a very story-driven franchise. I think
Oh, yeah.
that's
If-
the reason why everything looks new, because you're layering a tried and true gameplay mechanic set to a story that is just phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
if you get the chance, I'm not even gonna say do 1 and 2. At least do 3.
I
God of
will.
War 3 is probably
Wait,
one of the best of all time.
God of War 3, is that the one before the previous one that wait,
Yes. 3
not with
leads up to
Atreus.
the 3 leads up to the
To
events
the
of God of
God of
War, the
War.
new one with Atreus.
Are we what's the title of God of War, the new one that I can't seem to remember?
Ragnarok?
The one before Ragnarok.
God of War.
Ascension?
God of War Ascension?
No.
Mm.
Okay, look.
He's talking about the regular, the PlayStation 4 version. It's just God of War.
Yeah, it's just plainly God of War.
That's lame. Anyways, moving on.
I mean, if you want to get stuck on naming conventions.
I will, because that's pretty lame. But anyway,
Amazing games, though.
Yeah.
Amazing games. So, of course, it's going to be our number 1 pick of the remaining of 2022. Let's very, very quickly just look ahead. I think we each picked one game in 2023 that we were looking forward to.
2023?
Yeah. So AJ, I think
What?
you picked something tried and true, something that kind of came. Well,
It's not a surprise. It's been in development supposedly for a long time, but we finally got to look at it, and damn if it doesn't look amazing.
probably the thing that they should have invested time into doing instead of doing Diablo Immortal, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
They
gonna say
prob-
that. I'm
They
gonna
prob-
say that.
and not for nothing, Diablo Immortal has really suffered because of the mechanic of free to play and loot boxes and all season passes and all that stuff. But
Oh yeah.
a lot of
God.
people, if you strip that away, really do like the game. It's just those things make the game not fun to play.
And
You know?
unbearable.
Yeah.
I mean,
But you're talking about Diablo 4.
Yes. And what's great about Diablo 4 is that it is a complete, I'm not going to say reimagining, but it's a vastly different game than the ones that came before it. Like, what is open world, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's
I think
open
you
world,
can get around to wherever you want to go.
and they really lean into the horror-y aspects of it. Like in the first 4 games that came out,
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of like, normal fantasy, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it was kind of like fantasy but not horror.
Right.
But
So this is
now
more
it's
horror-esque.
fantasy, more horror centric.
Ooh, that
And you
sounds
can see that from the trailer. Like if you look at the trailer, you'd think you were watching a movie like Hellraiser or another movie that you find scary. All right, I'll amend it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
it really, really does kind of lean into the horror elements, which rightfully so, because I mean, if you look at the character of what is it, Diablo, right? Is the
Diablo
big
is not in that trailer.
no, but I'm saying, like, all the, like, the bad guys and the characters, they are scary looking people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So I like the fact that Diablo 4 is kind of leaning toward these horror elements at the same time doing an angelic war, so to speak, right?
I mean, that's
Angelic
kind of
War.
long past, but you'll get. That's kind of like it kind of follows a supernatural type thing where they had the war. The war is kind of done, but not quite done. It's
Hmm.
kind
It's
of
still
like
in that. It's
the
still in
way
that
I see it is like
kind of thing.
remaining fractions and people that got forgotten about that you really shouldn't have forgotten about.
By the same people who did Overwatch 2, which we just previously spoke of.
Why is this being compared to Overwatch 2?
I'm not comparing
Well,
it. That
it's
just
Blizzard
popped into my head.
Entertainment,
Yeah.
so it just shows that Blizzard Entertainment is very diverse
Oh,
in the
well,
games
It
that
okay.
they
is
put out.
That's
very
what you
diverse.
mean.
You know?
Okay.
So yeah, Diablo 4 is definitely something that I think, especially us, because we were like really diehard into Diablo 3, right? Um, that's something that definitely I think we wanna kind of look out for when it comes out in
Yeah, for sure.
2023. Um, the next game that I think Eli is very interested in,
Yeah.
and
Is
there's no doubt about that. It's a Nintendo Switch game.
Nintendo
Which one is
Switch.
that?
Demon Souls
Uh,
3.
Demon Souls 3.
I mean, literally, this is
Just kidding.
I know. Literally, this is a game that and it was announced, people in bars were yelling and screaming that
Yeah.
this thing is coming back. What game is that?
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. It's crazy. It's a pretty crazy thing. Honestly, uh I don't believe wait, have we spoken about this on the podcast?
No, I don't think we
Oh.
have.
So then, okay. Basically, the gameplay looks very different. They have like bokoblins, which are basically these goblin looking things on stone taluses. They're definitely introducing new gameplay mechanics, and that much is for sure. Very different gameplay mechanics. Yes, very different. They have like the Fortnite dive now. And they seem to be building a lot on the story. So it's a very crazy thing. The original Breath of the Wild was
Amazing, right?
practically a perfect game in my opinion.
I think before Elden Ring, I think everybody looked at Breath of the
Breath of the
Wild
Wild
and said that this is how an open world game should be, right?
for sure. So it really has me excited for Breath of the Wild too, especially with the new villain that they're introducing. Only thing is, Breath of the Wild 2 is taking a very long time to come out. Like, just release it already. The hype is dying. We just want the
You don't want to
game.
rush it, because then that's the
True.
problem. Infinite. I'm gonna look at that as a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the game is definitely probably going to be cool. I mean, there's nothing more to expect than it's just going to be another perfect game. So, yeah.
All right. The one that I'm looking forward to again is kind of in the same vein as Breath of the Wild. This is a game that has been anticipated for quite a long time,
Definitely.
and I'm talking about Bethesda's Starfield. Um,
Bethesda.
this is the game that, prior to anybody kind of seeing the trailer, was touted as Oblivion in space,
Wait,
like
Bethesda is making this?
Elder Scrolls in
Yeah,
space.
The
Bethesda.
thing that the things that we've watched about Bethesda really
Yeah.
has me. Now I'm worried because now I know who's developing this game.
I mean, it looks beautiful it's shown. The trailer looks amazing. I just, when I look at the trailer, it doesn't scream Elder Scrolls in space. It just, you know, there is something to the
No.
game that is super interesting. There's something that I can't put my finger on it. That it's like, I want to play this game so badly, but then again, I'm deathly afraid of what this thing is gonna be.
AJ, or rather Vladagon, you know how horrible this could be. You know exactly how much of a dumpster fire
Unfortunately,
this would be.
yeah. Unfortunately.
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
what
And this
was it?
is
Fallout 76? That was
literally
like,
all of their games practically.
okay, hold on.
Okay, let's get this straight. Elder Scrolls had to be like reworked. You know how much bugs and glitches there are.
Okay, but that's
It was
the
a good
one thing I
game.
will say, that's part of the charm of Skyrim.
Okay, true. That's
Like,
that's
who
fair.
doesn't want to see a floating mammoth out of nowhere just plop to the ground unharmed?
But you look
That is funny AF.
it is, it is. But you look at Fallout
Okay,
and the
that
recent stuff.
that the I think it's Fallout 76. You
Fallout
guys can correct
76.
me if I'm wrong, but If that is the right one, then yeah,
Now
that was the problematic one.
I don't mean to make this a ripping on Bethesda episode, but all I'm saying is Bethesda can be a bit of a scammer. You know that,
I don't know that I go that far,
but they can be. That's all I'm saying. And considering this is the most anticipated game, I'm very worried,
Well,
and I have a right to be.
you look at what Bethesda has done. The game is set in space, and it's weird, but think about Bethesda. This is the first new IP that has been developed by this publishing company in over 25 years.
Shoot.
Like, they've leaned
Wow.
heavily on their other properties. This
Okay.
is them really stepping out of their comfort zone because they haven't done anything else
Actually,
in
I see that as
25
good.
years. You know what I'm
That's
Wait.
saying?
good, but that's also concerning.
See, here's the thing about Bethesda's games. They have really amazing games. I'm gonna be frank. They have amazing games. They have Elder Scrolls. But didn't Bethesda also make Oblivion?
Well,
Yeah.
The
that's all
entire
Elder
series.
Scrolls.
And Fallout is a pretty good series. Sure, it had its ups and downs, a lot of downs that I'm not gonna talk about.
Yeah.
But I could. It's the reason why I'm a little bit on edge and why I'm pretty concerned is because of what has happened in their past games.
It's
Although,
just the fear of the unknown,
yeah,
really.
although I have a little bit of hope for this, especially since this is their first game in like 25 years. So maybe this can be like their way
It's
of
not their first game in 25 years. It's their first
New game.
new game.
new IP, I guess that what
Yeah.
you would call
This
it.
could this be a
Yeah.
new Bethesda? Bethesda?
Well, can I just say one thing? And I don't know if this is good or bad, but Bethesda has been trying to make a space game since 1994.
I think this
They
could be
had they
good.
had the rights to make a game based on some Traveler role playing system. Their Delta 5 game in 1994 was supposed to be based on it, but it never really fully got done. They had another game called The 10th Planet that was canceled in 1997,
That sounds cool.
but that game, believe it or not, is kind of like the spiritual um basis of Starfield. They also had the rights to Star Trek in the 2000s.
Wow,
Jeez.
really?
They were going to make an RPG out of Star Trek, but
Damn.
they never were able to pull it off. This is in the making, in the works since 1994. So they've been trying to make space games. They just never really found
The right
the right whatever, like, for whatever
Funding?
reason it never worked for them. So I mean,
I can only hope that that means they put a lot of attention to detail.
well,
honestly.
they've
And
been
stuff
thinking
like
about it
that.
since 1994. So
I
So
see
I
this as
just
good.
hope that shows
Is this Bethesda's
comeback story.
comeback story? Is that
I mean,
because
it's not.
this seems like this is the project that they actually want to work on.
Yeah. Okay.
This could be an apology for Fallout 76. This could be this could be Bethesda's like freaking I don't know what analogy I'm thinking of, but
okay,
yeah,
but
might be
let's
good.
roll with that, because you know what, the fallout of
Fallout 7,
Four
yeah.
of Fallout 4,
Yeah,
right?
Fallout 4.
Well, so there's Fallout 76, but right after Fallout 4 was released in, when was that, 2015,
Mm-hmm.
that's when they started Starfield.
Ah,
This game is 7 years in the making.
Well, let's
So-
hope
Okay.
this isn't another Cyberpunk.
okay.
But
so
I have a good
we'll
feeling.
we'll
about this.
see. I mean, they started working on it in 2015. By 2018, they actually had a work in progress that you can actually play. But it wasn't until um it was in 2018 that they officially announced it, and it took them another 4 years to really finish it. So, I mean, the thought of Starfield started in 1994. The actual work on the game started in 2015. The finishing product, the time that it took was from 2018 up until now. I
Damn.
mean, does that mean that this game is going to be the most amazing thing since sliced bread? Or is it that this is just going to be an epic failure that has been drawn out for decades? I guess that's what we're gonna find out next year.
Yeah, best I can say, I'll keep my eye on this.
I'm actually looking forward to this,
I'm gonna
but
keep my eye on it.
I'm scared at the same time, which is
That's
weird.
That's why I'm gonna keep my eye on it.
I have some hopes for it. I'm not gonna go through the trouble of I guess I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but it might be good. It's very concerning and very hopeful, I guess. Yes. I don't know. Guess
All
that
right.
works.
Cautious optimism.
Cautious, right? Yeah, there you
Cautiously optimistic.
go. Perfect.
All right, so that's gonna wrap up our look at the remainder of 2022 in terms of video games, and we kind of went back into the future into 2023 to try and check that out as well. Thank you all for listening. Again, please, I do remind you to remember to rate, review, and subscribe if you're listening to this podcast on any podcast apps. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please remember to subscribe, like, and hit that notification button. But until then, we're signing off here. I am Walt.
Vladiga.
We never
Eli,
land the
no,
ending,
no,
man.
no.
We really, really
Because I was
don't.
expecting you to
pods.
go next.
I was still trying to
75
think of like
episodes.
the Mayor whatever CrossGen.
We are 75 episodes and we still haven't nailed the ending.
Whatever.
This is crazy. All right. Anyway, I'm Walt.
This is Vladigon.
This is we have so many. We have like so many sources to use for this ending, and I still can't think of anything. Right? It's so weird. Or maybe it's an overload of information that could be causing you to not think of anything. Right? We have.
May our Red Hood magic jumps
No.
cross again.
Stop. If you, that's a collision.
That is a collision.
It's a collision.
everything that all our endings usually end up with a collision.
You know
and
what?
Everybody dies.
I will say this.
It's so gruesome.
One thing we didn't mention is that there's a new Ghostbusters game coming out.
Oh yeah.
If we had mentioned it and our most anticipated, we could have said, "May our streams cross again."
Streams.
Oh God.
That could mean
Come
anything.
on, man.
That could mean anything.
The
When you're
particle
talking about-
streams
when you're
never
talking about
cross the
Ghostbusters-
streams, it's a
Yeah.
whole thing in the movies.
Okay. May our plagues cross again. May our
Then you're
starships
murdering
cross
people.
again. Everything ends up in a. Everything ends in a gruesome way.
May our oh god, may our flight
Yo.
paths cross again.
See? Exactly.
How about
Oh my
this?
Always
God.
death
May
and
our
destruction.
Scorn cross again. That's not a thing. That's a feeling. We're not murdering anybody with feelings, are we?
That's
But
still really
Scorn.
awkward though. Mayor Scorns cross again.
Well, you don't want to murder anybody, so I'm giving you the chance just to feel butthurt.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. All right. Do we have an ending?
I don't
May
know.
our star fields cross again?
I don't know what a Starfield is. Let's roll with that.
Field of stars.
Okay. I mean, I'm not even gonna get into it anymore. I stopped trying like 8 minutes ago. My brain stopped processing what was going on. Yeah.
All right. In that case, later, people.